17. Okay, let's see what this is. After a monotone conscious noise, a response comes from another end of the line. Regarding Zeno's request to assist in establishing a dedicated communication line with the timekeeper, we hope to understand the details. The exact content of the communication is a military secret. I cannot divulge the details. The Scientific Community Center needs to understand the purpose of Zeno's establishment of communication to judge whether it is worth diverting manpower to build a dedicated line. Zeno's purpose is a military secret. Wait, did I just read that? No. I cannot divulge the detail. Next, I will answer some simple questions. If you continue to answer with I cannot divulge the details, I will take it as a sign of omission. Do you understand? I am not authorized to answer that question. Very well. Then Zeno is preparing for a military operation against the Mantis Vindictus, and therefore needs to establish communications with the top people for this purpose. I cannot divulge the details. Good. This operation will ensure that Timekeeper's safety, then, won't it? I cannot divulge the details. This is an inconvenient operation, isn't it? I cannot divulge the details. This operation was most likely inspired by the Pax Security Council, correct? We are soldiers. Soldiers act on order, miss. Zeno then hung up the call. Right, 18 done. 19, nothing. 20. 21. Okay, so 24. A metal plate, a grain of sand, an element of sound, simple and effective. Oh, this is how we find this. Oh, this is how they use the vibrator to make the symbols or the reading. Applying child plate sound proclamation. Required materials: a square sheet of metal. Other shapes and materials can also be used. Observing the difference they produce is equally entertaining. Sand, flour, salt, and sugar can be used, but be careful; they're not easy to clean once they get into the body's crevices. A element of sound. Yes, that's me. Glad to help. You can also find many friends who knows how to sing and make vibrations or say dance. Working principles. It is known that sound is produced by vibrations and propagated in the form of waves. A different sound has different frequencies or vibrations, so certain sounds can produce fixed waves under certain conditions, thereby representing certain patterns. Operating steps. First, place the square metal sheet, here and after referred to as the plate, on a stable, well-fixed, smooth, solid surface. This is to prevent phenomena such as slipping, an important step. Second, the sound element is made to contact the plate and emit sound at a specific frequency. The Scientific Computing Center has compiled the wave bands correctly to the 26 letter shapes. You can ask Mr. Ulrich for a copy. He is a very generous gentleman. Third, observe the pattern and draw a conclusion. Wasn't that simple? You can do it alone at home. Try it and see what patterns your favorite music program turns into. About the forest you're familiar with. About the companion you know so well. Oh, Druid! Surveillance report on Miss Waderholzer. Following the forest incident, Miss Waderheiser, suspected of using her arcane skills to destroy and invade on public places, and thus causing several damages, was required to eliminate the influence of Arcanum and restore the original function of the site, and was forced to participate in 120 hours of Foundation service activities. In addition to a fine of 200,000 Sarpunos, Miss Weisenheiser showed a high degree of cooperation in accepting her punishment. She enrolled in the temporary tree processing class and, within 3 days, dealt with the excessive tree overgrowth she had caused by trimming all the greenery within the Foundation. At her emphatic request, the materials from the processed trees will be fully utilized. In the following period, the tree processing class responds to his requests. We progress the trees into lumber and send them to the engineering department. The byproducts were processed into organic fertilizer, and the remaining fruits are distributed by the canteen at lunchtime to offset Miss Weisenheiser's service activity time. The acorn bread and berry pies received quite good reviews. In summary, given Miss Weisenhauser's excellent performance and good attitude in admitting her mistakes during this period, we believe she has fulfilled her complementary obligation to our satisfaction, and has recommended that surveillance and movement restrictions are lifted from Miss Western in advance. That is all. Half of this newspaper page has been soaked in murky oil paint. Unfortunately, the other half of the text is faintly legible. The last big flash news. I don't know if I'm crazy. Maybe today is the end of the world, but I have to write this down. This is my duty as a journalist. The whole of Vienna has become an oil painting splashed by turbulence, and not using that as a metaphor literally. Everything dripping with paint, and I'm no exception. Unfortunately, my right hand is fine for now, but I can still write. Though 3 men fighting to the death over the pronunciation of the word would be enough to make the front page of the newspaper, but I was wrong. A great war is unfolding. A great war that will involve the whole world. Those feet marching on the streets can't wait to throw the world into a roasting flame of hell. Hungarian, Australian, Deliism, German, Socialism. The streets and cafe are full of lunatics talking nonsense. Except for me, and this little girl who just came to make a phone call carrying a case of books. That's probably Marcus. Miss Marcus. The girl was crying so sadly she even made the call. She ran so fast when she came that she even slipped and fell, and she didn't realize her books had fallen all over the place until after she finished the call. I don't understand that there is to cry about when everything is pumped like this. Everywhere, and the supplement of orders will soon disappear. If there is anything that still makes you sad, then you should do everything in your power to destroy it. Just like the editor who keeps rejecting my drafts. If I don't take him down, I'll never have my chance to shine. This article will appear in tomorrow's paper, along with the destruction of my editor, if the world hasn't ended by then. So what's Poor Sap up for the spot next? Pale green characters flickered as necessary, and in seconds, dozens of messages appeared in the fluorescent screen at the same time. It is clear to see that life must go on. Alright, so I'm just going to read not the users, I'm going to read the text. Lucy had resigned. Who will be in charge now? Ulrich? He's the second most reliable awakening in science computing sensor. Someone other than Lucy, I guess. No one wants that seat. It's electrified. Ulrich is the most opposed to this idea. He's on a hunger strike in front of the community building. I guess he's rather starve to death than sit in the electric chair. How about John? He's a man with a clear logic and good project management skills. Lucy was an excellent leader. The casualties this time shouldn't be her fault. The best option is to let her come back. Which John? I hope you don't mean the one who speaks in hexadecimals. That's John Teether. That's one of the characters. I recommend John from the Mechanic Engineering Group. He's very creative and forward-thinking. Definitely the right person to run the Science Physics Computing Center. Last week, major power outage has caused by that John from the Mechanic Engineering team starting all the lab machines in parallel. He's been suspended and has been undergoing psychological evaluation ever since. I'd rather pick the John from the medical team. John from the medical team caused a huge explosion while testing a new drug for me last month. Luckily, since he's from the medical team, help was at hand, and he's still sleeping like a baby in the hospital bed right now. What about the John from the Zero Physics Lab? His projects are absolutely safe. There's never been any danger, and there won't be any in the future. He only cares about logic in all things. Simply the perfect candidate for the man in charge. John from the Zero Physics Lab applied for the transfer a long time ago. The only person still hanging on to that group is probably Allard, who forgot to transfer his files. So Adler is indeed currently the best physician of all of the plus. No one even to even add one of. Hey Dale, how's everything? In the entire scientific computing center, we can't find a John suitable to take charge. Isn't there a John with the judgment, execution, and long-term scientific vision of Lucy? Well, nice. What movie are you guys watching? One will be unconstantly support our research and even willing to approve funding for extra strange inventions or new theories of the study of ley lines. A better sense of humor than Lucy would ever be a plus. I think you might be able to find a John funnier than Lucy, but that's it. My suggestion is that we all join Urix in preventing any political John or placeholder John from being put in the position, and on that basis, demand Lucy's return. Good idea. See you in the front of the committee building. I'll bring a few deck of cards. Can anyone tell me why we're only considering John? Alright. Well, we'll go to this last part. So let's see how this works. The long journey wears you down. It's only your force of will that has carried you this far. But the rocky pirates is still filled to the brim with energy. She finds a smooth, flat rock that still holds some warmth from the sun. Taking a seat from raising her drink and toast towards the horizon, the last can of Dr. Pepper rests beside her.
That's the stuff. Nothing beats a Dr. Pepper after saving the day. What? Are you worrying about other things? We just took down Arcana and snagged the storm immunity. Why not kick back for a minute, mate? The best bit about this whole thing is I ended up with 2 ships in 1 day. Let's treat ourselves to fizzy drinks and get all puffed up today.
So, Vertin, we're gonna take her last can of Dr. Pepper. Why wouldn't you celebrate? There's no earthly reason to decline such a kind offer.
Traverted!
It's a fine response, as you said. There's nothing stopping you from enjoying the refreshing flavor of the bubbly soft drinks. What does the great rocking pirate think of this voyage?
Aside from my sinking ship, not too shabby. Plenty of adventures, surprises, and treasures. The only problem? This bloody island. So many rules! Can't even eat beans without getting a lecture. What's with the Abraxas biting people? What's with people biting people?
When the people biting people?
Don't they understand that rules are made to be broken? No way people this obstinate could ever write good lyrics. Can you imagine? 6 lines. I'm dead. But let's be honest, that last meal was absolutely smashing. They went out with a bang, didn't they? Striding into the storm to prove their beliefs? How cool was that? I was half tempted to join them, but I reined it in. Not today. This rockin' pirate will never suffer the same fate of those number crunchers. Because my grand finale will be the one that rocks the world, mate.
I have to go. Thanks for the Dr. Pepper.
Glad you enjoyed that. If you ever want more Dr. Pepper, I'm here for you.
37! A genius has decided to leave behind her orderly and familiar realm to dive into the chaotic currents of the new world. She stands on the beach, lost in her thought, the waves gently lapping by her feet. We're gonna stand next to 37.
13?
She noticed your arrival, but her eyes are still fixed on the sea.
What's wrong? I'm calculating the perfect time to set sail.
What do you plan to do once you leave the island?
This question is unresolved. The outside world is too murky, too distant from the essence. My mind becomes clouded and dull, limiting the power of my arcane skills. But maybe I can take it on as a new project. Make this murky world clean again. I think it will be a lot of fun. Sophia will love it too. If she comes back.
I should get going.
I think we'll meet again soon.
Who else are we going to see? 6? Wait, who's this guy? Wait. Let's see if we could guess from the figure. Yeah, I can't guess. I can't tell. Is that a... No, it can't be Sutterby. Who is it? The 768 nauseous miles flight was barely a warm up of the pilot and her thrusty broom. Oh, it's Layla. I think Leela. Perched at the highest point of the island, she takes a moment to fully savor her most recent flight. She takes a deep swig of her canteen before shaking her head.
Hey, Burton! Come drink with me. Only kids like Regulus drink soda. You should get used to vodka.
I'm underage too.
Sheesh. You were never the model student, but now you sound like one. If you're not into drinking holy water, at least chat with me. Or the joy of drinking will be lost.
Why did you decide to become a pilot?
Now that's a topic to get the sips flowing. Who isn't up for a little reminiscing while drinking? I became a pilot because I love flying, obviously. Ah, the wind rushing past you, the thrill of acceleration. The weightlessness and adrenaline while chasing the enemy. The best part is the screaming when you slice apart their plane. Call me disloyal if you want, but to me, Xeno was just a place to get a pilot's license. Ever since I got my papers and an aircraft, I had been looking for a place to fly freely. In Xeno, I needed a mission to fly. At the Foundation, my role would have been reduced to a mere instructor. So I looked for a place with endless problems, where I could have unlimited fun in the air. Can you guess where I ended up? Your suitcase. Пока! Maybe you can join me for another ride sometime. Not like the last time when you were sick, but in an actual air fight.
Who next are we gonna see? The only person I know that wears green is Kakanya, but let's see who it is. The little lady is trotting along the beach, dragging a suitcase stuff to the brim behind her. Okay. She rarely travels with much luggage, usually preferring to tuck everything into her dress. I can't help but wonder if she'd be brought along. Wait, is this Sutterby? Along. Oh, it's Sutterby.
Is there a gentleman who can help me? Oh, it's Burton! Hooray! Could you act the part of a gentleman and help me carry this suitcase?
What's in it?
The moving pictures of Typhon I chose for my new island friends, including Typhon and the Auto Island, Typhon and the Pegasus, Typhon and the battle against Jupiter, all a perfect gift for new friends. I know what you're worrying about, but don't worry. Miss Morsel approved my request, so I asked the Foundation to make copies for everyone. Even though she said something like, no copyright issues in this time and year. Is copying not right in this era? Typhon never cared about such details when sharing with friends.
You notice strips of black plastic peeking out from her suitcase. They appear to be film.
Could you carry the suitcase for me? Bless your heart.
Of course. Leave it to me.
It's better not to expose the film to open light. You take the case in your only free hands.
Thanks again, Vertin. Say, do you happen to know of any dark and empty rooms? We can enjoy Typhon's moving pictures on a wall there with our new friends.
So there's been another storm.
Yes, another storm we braved together. Even though there was a tense atmosphere before the storm, everyone was on edge. Their discussions were too hard to understand. I couldn't keep up. But good thing I was the best potion alchemist around. I whipped up helpful potions without even knowing what they were saying. I'll tell you a secret formula, Vertin. Add 3 grams of gold powder to coffee, and it becomes a refreshing potion. It works the best when you add it in front of their faces. Coffee and gold are an addictive combination, so don't get carried away. Remember, don't drink more than 3 grams of gold a day, and politely say no to anyone who asks for a lot of gold.
You can leave Typhoon to me.
I knew it, Vertin. You must really enjoy lugging suitcases around.
Who's this person? Hey, Cathy, Jesse back yet? A druid is taking a stroll through the war-torn woods. She rests her hands on the secret trunk of the olive tree and tends to listen to his quiet whisper in the winds.
A beautiful morning to you, Burden. As you described, this is a forest worth looking forward to. Branches of the trees are arranged in a perfect pattern, showing a sense of harmony and unity. I can see the gentle and caring nature of the guardian of the forest.
That is high praise.
Indeed. All branches follow the same pattern and grow in the same way. The edges of squares give rise to triangles, and the edges of triangles give rise to squares. I may not be familiar with this trimming style, but I can hear the trees humming with joy.
That pattern is called the Pythagoras tree.
I have heard of this Pythagoras. He was a mathematician. Little did I know that his theorem could be expressed on trees. My respects to the sagacity of the ancients.
Arcana has finally been defeated.
Defeating Arcana. I am not certain she can be defeated. To defeat an entity like her, one must first understand her intentions. Manus Vindicte's purpose is clear, but Arcana's is a mystery. She didn't care about anything based on the time I spent with her. In accordance with the laws of nature, fruits fall, seeds take root, and trees bear new produce. The tree can be pruned, its fruit thinned, and even cut down to change its appearance. Yet the inherent law of nature cannot be altered. To me, Arcana is like an unchangeable law, one without any purpose. It cannot be overcome, just as it cannot be changed.
I should get going.
I would love to talk to the trees again. They are delightful. Farewell for now.
A lady sits in front of the IDM. Her expression is motionless. She places a hand on her face, her fingers carefully running over her cheeks as they were unfamiliar. For a brief moment, you can quite place who she is. You recognize the metal torso and limbs, but her face seems unfamiliar. Is this Lucy?
Nice to meet you, Timekeeper. I have intended to visit you, but training interfered. Forgive me for meeting you like this instead.
Training?
Yes, training. I was instructed to leave Laplace and go on a vacation. Just as I was wondering where and how I was going to accomplish this task, Madame Z recommended your suitcase. So I prepared this spare body for easier communication with the members in your suitcase. Considering the presence of underage individuals, I opted for a softer material. Hopefully, they will be comfortable with the temperature of my metal. As for my training, it is to master the art of resting. I would like to inquire, how does one define the concept of resting?
Resting is when you focus on keeping yourself in a good shape.
I am glad that you and I have come to the same conclusion. Based on my observations, resting is what one does to recharge their physical and mental systems. Through the combination of a balanced diet, suitable exercise, and sufficient sleep. But these measures do not work for the awakened. I require no sleep. My sustenance is electricity, and exercise quickens my deterioration. I suppose the closest definition of resting is the continuous charging of electricity.
Yep.
But from your perspective, can this not be categorized as the sin of gluttony?
I'll catch up with you later. We can discuss it then.
See you soon, Timekeeper. Remember, we still need to complete the resting plan.
The IDM has completed his mission, but his screen is still lit. Someone is still on the line.
It's a 7-letter word. The second letter is A and the third letter I. Failing, failure, jailing, painful. No, not these. Open your mind.
What about Rainbow?
Good one. Then the 6 is O, the start of opportunity. Wait, who's talking? There is no one around me. Is the IGM talking? Are you an awakened one?
This is Vertin speaking.
The timekeeper? I was so relaxed I forgot to check the microphone. Most of the staff is preparing funerals for the deceased. If you have anything to say, I'll pass it on.
How's the plot has been with Lucy gone? Chaotic?
She dumped a mess on Ulrich and I. The research team will become its own department and focus on studying the equilibrium umbrella. And Ulrich and I are going to head it. Once he's done with his hunger strike, we'll have to decide who's going to be in charge of all the boring stuff Madame Lucy couldn't be bothered to deal with. Stuff like politics, getting along with people, and working with other organizations. I must say that Laplace is being overly technocentric here. They couldn't find anyone else to head the department, except for this unsociable researcher, and this awakened thing that can't even show emotions like a normal person. The social scene at Laplace is going to be a disaster.
I'll leave you to your puzzles then.
So were you just here for small talk? I was told it would help with my resocialization. Thanks.
Memoras Jr., right? The dream building stands perfectly still by the sea, unaware of her surroundings. Or is it Sophia? No, I think it's Mirza. The stack of guided white umbrellas lies piled on her feet. She keeps her weary eyes shut. Her body sways gently in the sea breeze. Put a jacket on her.
It's hot. Please move these people out into the hallway. This room's turning into a sauna.
Simmering sweat builds on her forehead until she slowly begins opening her eyes.
Burton? Thanks for the jacket, but I doubt anyone will catch a cold in this weather.
Hey, cat.
It's been a while since we saw each other outside the Foundation, hasn't it? I should probably thank you for the extra work you're causing me. Finally, I have a chance to escape the daily grind and enjoy some fresh air. Even though some of the Foundation staff are starting to see me as your go-between. Whatever. It's nice to get away from the screaming patients once in a while. Here, the equilibrium umbrellas you requested.
Have you considered a different job?
To do what? Be your errand girl? Sadly, the number of people losing their minds only increased over the years. I'll never be able to leave this job. You should continue your efforts, Verton. Find ways to minimize the impact of the storm on people, as you did with the equilibrium umbrella. That'll save me a lot of trouble.
Thank you for bringing the umbrellas.
It's no big deal. Just part of the job. Now, if you don't mind, please verify the delivery and confirm receipt of the items you requested. The faster you count, the sooner I can take a break.
Her heavy eyelids close again as she drifts into another dream. Who are we meeting now? Is it Matilda? Yep, I thought so. Her voice owners has found you before you could even look for her. Like a trained athlete, the divination genius charges towards you, her optic comb secured under her arm.
Aha! Finally caught you! Think you can hide from me? Did you really think you could sneak off to the twist ball without the knowledge of the monitor assistant Matilda?
Twist ball.
What twist ball?
You can't fool me. The lovely Sotheby has given away the details of your plan. You should feel lucky that I'm soft-hearted and generous with other people's mistakes. Now, if you invite me to this ball, I will forget about what happened.
There is no twist ball, Matilda.
Do you really expect me to believe that?
She sees the genuine look on her face, and her confidence starts to waver.
Do you mean that? Was Miss Sotheby pulling a prank on me?
Perhaps she forgot that she was supposed to hold the ball.
So no one was left out. Elle ne va pas se lancer dans une danse du twist fou. You'd better be telling the truth. I hope you will come up with a more tasteful event next time. And be sure to invite me. As the monitor assistant, I am obligated to be there and supervise.
You're welcome to join us.
Join you? You mean leaving here with you? Also with her? You can't trick me into breaking the rules. I will become a Foundation investigator all on my own. And I will outdo you and Sonetto in this position. By then, you will be hoping to join me, not the reverse.
When you mind excusing me, I'll catch up with you soon.
Which is not another ball without me, I should hope. You're cleverer than this 13. You know you can't fool me. I will be watching.
To see who has glasses. Alright. You can't tell. Alright, let's see who it is. Is it John? John? Nope. The drug supervisor chooses the perfect place to meet. It's not too eye-catching, nor is it too quiet that you can't find her easily. She's holding a medal in one hand and a war announcement speech in another. Her thermos cup is left aside.
Congratulations.
Oh,
Bertie.
Z,
The Foundation
Madam
is
Z.
pleased with your recent performance. I am here to award you on behalf of the Foundation.
She puts the medal and speech in her folder and hands them to you.
I know you're not a fan of these ceremonies, so here's your medal and a brief statement on your achievements.
Oh, she got a medal too. Most of the medals went, that they got really gave it to Wrigless. Is there a new mission?
No need to rush, Verton. Take your time and rest. Enjoy the company of your friends before you set out again. Don't worry about the reports. I'll handle them. You've been busy ever since becoming the timekeeper, and you deserve a break.
Apple! He's pretty easy to tell apart. The red fruit is enjoying himself peacefully in the wine cellar. And rosy hues look incredibly vibrant today, perhaps due to the wines.
Good morning. Or evening, my lady. Just as expected, the wine on this island is exquisite. This apple, pledges to personally take on the task of documenting these wines and preserving their names for posterity. They will be called Cuvée Apéron, in honor of this respectable school of thought.
But the school of opera has been divided.
It pains this apple to the core that such a talented group of scholars parted ways over philosophical differences, Miss Verton. Disagreements are not always bad. Sometimes the spark of progress comes from the friction of ideas. The flaws in the foundation of calculus weren't discovered by a mathematician, but by a theologian heavily involved in the study of religion. And for that, we should be grateful to him for bringing it to light. His insights revealed weaknesses in the concept of infinitesimals, prompting a need for improvement. Thanks to his criticisms, mathematics was spared from becoming a palace of errors and lies. This apple believes that the current differences in the school of Apéron will eventually lead to a greater unity. We should toast to differences.
I should probably be off.
Bon voyage, Miss Verton.
We get to 6 yet. The plus a principal inventor is still busy building another mysterious device on the island. It appears to resemble a catapult.
Hey Verton,
Oh, it's
what a
X.
lucky surprise. I'm setting up a new Goldberg machine. This place is going to be a hub. When a seagull glides over the ocean and builds a nest on one end of this lever, a stone will be flung from the other end, which will fly all the way to... Well, the fun will be spoiled if I tell you now. See for yourself when I'm done. Why don't we talk about something else? Like Laplace? You might want to hear what a mess it is over there.
Has Laplace decided who to be Lucy's successor?
They have no idea who can take her place. She was much loved, as one could tell from that epic farewell. Nobody has the courage to sit on her recharger throne, as you never know when you'll get burned. And it will take some time to transform the office back into a space for living beings to use. I have to admit that sometimes I prefer the chaos. Since nobody has time to tell us what to do, we already have exciting projects in the pipeline.
I better get going.
I'll catch you later. I've got a couple of gadgets to tune up.
2 more to go. Sonata, right? You know your chief assistant will be here, just like she knows you'll come looking for her. It's been ages since you last saw her in anything other than the Foundation uniform. That's how you know an actual holiday is actually here.
Good morning, Timekeeper. We have finally completed all of our assigned tasks. The Foundation gave me a break, but I don't know what to do with my free time. Would you mind if I spent some time with you?
Certainly. We can chat a little.
Her tense shoulder falls with relief.
Thank you, Timekeeper. I wanted to talk to you about the mission we just had. Especially about Sophia. Sorry, this is about to sound like a work report. I'm not very good at small talk. Can you start the conversation?
What is your plan moving forward?
I will do everything in my power to prevent tragedies like Sophia's and Schneider's from happening again. No matter how impossible it may seem right now, I will find a way. Sorry, those were big words, I know. What I really want to do is to keep being your assistant, Timekeeper. For it is my duty and my own will. Let us do this together, Timekeeper.
Sorry, I have other things to tend to.
It's okay, Timekeeper. Don't let me keep you. I'm not going anywhere. We can talk later when you have time.
Who's the last person we're gonna talk to? Radio? Miss Radio! The green radio is basking under the sun, bathing in its warmth. Since she doesn't have a human face to make expressions, it's hard to read her mood. However, since the fifth dimension Aquarius is playing from her speakers, it might suggest she's in a good spirits. She snaps at the moment she notices your presence, and the music shifts to a 4-note metaphor, just like with Beethoven's Fate knocking at the door.
Hello? Miss Burton, what brings you here? Have they finally decided my verdict? I hope my recent actions were enough to prove my innocence.
She shivers nervously, and the music seems to cackle along with her. Of course, in fact, we couldn't have achieved any of this without you.
Really? That is wonderful news. I am relieved to hear that I've been helpful. These past few days had left me on edge, wondering if they would pry open my battery cover or submerge me in formalin. Or even take me apart in search of enemy signals. Thank you for your confidence in me, Miss Burton. So, am I allowed to move freely within the Foundation now? I could use a little cleaning, polishing, and perhaps a coat of wax, if I can find someone to do it.
I shall leave you to your leisure.
In that case, why don't we enjoy a little pampering time together? We could slather ourselves in machine oil, bask in the sun, and let the rays zap our impurities away.
Is that all? We can claim everything. Wait. Okay, yeah, we can claim everything. Okay. Claim. Oh, nice. We collect everything. And wait, what? Claim. We got Sonata's new outfit.
The lake is overflowing.
Alright, I guess we could have it. The other one, she was
Just like
in
a
another
stream
outfit
of
that's like
wine.
charging.
Wait, where am I?
Wait, were we? Okay, here it is.